Dear students and my audience, right now we are on chapter 16 of the novel Moth Smoke by Mohsen Hamid. This novel is quite significant with respect to the idea that Mumtaz once again becomes Mumtaz Kashmiri and she comes forward to declare about herself what has happened to her. We know the version in the previous chapters that she had stopped meeting Daru and she had given him clear indication that she's no more interested in coming towards him and ultimately goes back to his home. But what had happened back at home, that is to be told by very character Mumtaz, who's the female protagonist of the story. Let us see what happens in this chapter and how she narrates about herself. The very first paragraph says, the topic, for example, is the wife and the mother, part 2. It's me again, Mumtaz, not commonly called the monster, no commonly called the monster, sometimes even to my face, which makes my story, I suppose, a kind of monster story with Daru among my victims. So, this opening passage of the text goes to show that a strong woman has been labeled to be as monster. This happens in the Asian societies or the South Asian societies or even in Asian as a whole, wherever the woman is violating the path prescribed by her. And because of that, some family suffers, especially in India. She is termed to be a Dine, I hear the word has been used, demand for her, and it's been used for monster, the word for her, because number of people are destroyed because of this. Children are destroyed because of this. Men get, destroyed because of this, as it has happened in case of Daru. But it was not Mumtaz's fault altogether. Daru was himself deeply involved in that. Same was the case with Uzi as well. It's not 100% Mumtaz. But that is the perception of the people about women that writer is speaking here. That is such a woman who would take any step on her own, of her choice, of her understanding, of her happiness, she would be labeled like that as it has been labeled by him. So this is not the view of the writer necessarily. It is the view of the society being projected about this novel is going to be. Okay, to have further understanding and explanation why she's calling herself so, let us go into the text and find more. The passage again, she gives the story how she was married, and here is the green passage that we may be trying to understand. Even though I told him not to, Daru fell in love with me. Maybe love isn't the right term. He became obsessed with me, and I guess you would say that it was, at least in part, my fault. I stayed with him past the first warning sign. I don't know if that was wrong of me. All I know is that it made me feel good to take care of him. I was desperate to prove to myself that I wasn't a bad person, that I wasn't selfish and uncaring, that I could be giving and good, that it wasn't my fault. I didn't love my son. As soon as I heard Daru had been arrested for killing a boy in car accident, I told Uzi, and Uzi smiled. Okay, let us talk first of all about this passage, and everybody knows that Mumtaz is explaining in this passage that she had no intention of falling in love with Daru. Neither she wanted Daru to fall in love with her. It was simply a pastime activity for her. She wanted to go with that, and she went for that. But ultimately, she found out that Daru was falling in love with her. So that is why she says that it may not be love; it may be an obsession of Daru with her. So in this way, she claims about herself that she's such a person with whomever she will meet, and definitely that person will fall in love with her. Obsession will be there, which she actually didn't want to have. And so in that way, she is not only putting blame on her, but sharing the responsibility of destruction of Daru on himself as well, because she says that she had warned him, she had tried to stop him, but he did not stop, and the things went on the same way. She says that she actually continued okay because of feeling good and because she wanted to prove that she's a good woman, she can take care as well, and she can love her son as well. So all these things she wanted to prove, and for this purpose the matrimony continued. But the result was ultimately the monster title for that woman and the destruction of Daru altogether, because he was arrested by the police. In the second part of the passage that has been greened here, that passage goes to take a different turn. And in this passage, we can read like that when I realized Uzi knew about our affair, he had never said anything, didn't say anything even then. But something in his expression left no doubt in my mind. I felt sick, disgusted by what Daru had done, disgusted by my husband's glee, disgusted at first at myself for having the affair in the first place, for ending it so abruptly. I felt sorry for all of us. So that is the moment for Mumtaz when she is feeling herself to be sorry, but in fact she should not be, because she has done something, and ultimately she came to know that her husband knew all that, and the husband let her do all these things because he also wanted to prove that Mumtaz is really a very bad woman, and he wanted to get rid of Daru and Mumtaz both, and that is why he made this type of arrangement. And when Daru was arrested, her husband felt very happy. This is the view of Mumtaz, that the happiness of Daru goes to indicate that it was really something which made him happy that Daru has been arrested, and his wife possibly may come back to him. So that is the maliciousness which Mumtaz thinks on the part of Uzi that has been described in this paragraph. Let us see further, and we will be able to find one more paragraph regarding Muazzam as well, and regarding other things which Mumtaz wanted to do. For example, let's read this paragraph. So one day I transferred half the money in our joint account, and one I opened for myself, took my jewelry out of the safe deposit box, and packed two suitcases. I felt almost determined as I had the day I told Lucy I marry him. But when I told Lucy of leaving, when I saw him register the shock and pain, then I felt so sad. Too, for the both of us and for Muazzam. Uzi didn't get angry. He was quiet for a long time, and when he spoke softly, he would see to it that Daru wouldn't get out of prison for a long time. I didn't lie, didn't pretend. I hadn't had an affair. I said, "You killed the boy, didn't you?" So this thing continues, and ultimately Uzi says to her, the last passage of this page, last line of this page. He didn't speak again until the servants were carrying out my suitcase. Then he said, "Please stay, I will forgive you." And after that, we have a number of other passages that will be telling us about the relationship between Muazzam and his mother Mumtaz. But first of all, let us talk here what Uzi wants now. The usual traditional story that when a rich woman, powerful woman, becomes angry, it is not her husband who would say, "Go out of my home." It is her own will, and she exercises this will. She knows very well that there is no place to go. Father's home, mother's home may not be given to her, and so that is why she decided to live like Zulfikar Manto, an independent woman. It's just the same story which Nora in the drama The Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen pointed out, that in order to win her respect, Nora went out without caring for the kind of life which the kids may be having in our absence, or the husband may be having. But that was the cheating, that was the dishonesty of the husband, which caused her to go outside. Same as the case here, that when it was revealed to Mumtaz that Uzi did everything in order to entangle Daru in the case, and he is saying here probably he would make his best efforts that Daru doesn't come out, but he tells to his wife that he can forgive her. So this speaks of volumes of taking revenge from Daru, but not taking revenge from Mumtaz. He is there still in love with her. He wanted to retain her for the sake of Muazzam, for the sake of himself. But then it is Mumtaz, the powerful woman, the honor and the respect and the sincerity is very much important for her, and that is why she says that, "Who will forgive you?" So in this way, Mumtaz is not ready to forgive her husband for the kind of cheating which he has exercised on Daru. So in that way, she goes out, servants give the whole things to her, and she goes outside. And then comes the next passage, which is definitely about her relationship with the son. That is the mother and the son relationship revealed here. What she attempts to do, what she thinks about that. Let's have a reading of that. She says to herself, "I thought I would go home to Karachi, but I haven't. Something keeps me here. Zulfikar Manto. Maybe my parents' complete inability to understand, a reluctance to run from where I have been." I think about Muazzam more than anything else. I remember his long eyes that are neither mine nor Uzi's, but his own. Uninherited, original. He isn't a strong boy. He tires easily, cries more than most 3 years old, but he likes my voice, likes me to read to him. It puts him to sleep. Muazzam called me Amma, and not softly, but insistently, desperately, even when he was barely awake. I wonder if he always knew I would leave him. Maybe all children do. Maybe that is where nightmares come from, nature telling them their parents will be gone one day. But I wonder if mine suspected his would leave sooner than she should. I don't think I will ever be able to explain to him why his mother could not stay. So that is the paragraph which reveal her feelings about her son Muazzam. Mumtaz is thinking about her son Mosam. She loves him. She wants to stay with him. But then the matter of her profession, the matter of her originality, the matter of her creativity, and the matter of her own desire to stay independent and not to stay with the man who tried to be dishonest with her, she therefore decides to go out. And here we can say that this is the case of Mumtaz as not only feministic case but post-feministic case. In the post-feminist matter, the children are not important for women, the family is not important for women. Her own career, earning of money, making of things, and achieving of targets becomes more important. And the same thing happens with this woman, Mumtaz. She shows her original self. She shows that she's powerful and strong. She can leave the husband, she can leave the lover, and she can leave the son as well in order to stay independent. So, this is the character of Mumtaz that we meet here. A very particular example of the you can say hardliners or radical feminist and as well as post-feminist activity. Ultimately, we reach to the end of this chapter, but before that, again, it is stressed that she would like to live as Zulfikar Manto. She will be writing articles, and these articles may be clarifying the case of Daru, and Daru may come out of the jail. And Manusi, the servant, for example, has been referred in the end of the chapter that he proves himself to be a good investigator. He tries to find out information. How and when did it happen that Uzi killed the boy? And it was Daru who was given the blame that he killed, and ultimately he was arrested by the police as well. And she thinks that in this way she may be able to bring Daru out. So out of the court of justice, out of the police's manacles, and then she thinks that perhaps it may be possible to help them. So she separates herself from the family of Uzi, and she leaves her son. And the intention is that while working very hard with the help of Manusi, she may be writing articles as Zulfikar Manto, and Zulfikar Manto may be possibly able to bring Daru outside the net which has been spread by Uzi in order to entangle that man, to take revenge from him for having affair with his wife, that he may be coming out. So that goes to show that she's a good lover, and whoever respects and honors her, whoever wants her, whoever shows that that person is in need of her, whoever respects her, that woman is for him, and therefore she leaves everything in order to save the case of Daru. And so that is the end of the chapter here, chapter number 16. Possibly we shall be meeting in some other chapter. So students, do not fail to watch the important points of the chapter, because here this chapter is again about Mumtaz, and this Mumtaz character has been revealed more here. So when you write the character of the female protagonist Mumtaz, you may be able to secure some of the points from here and do include them with the help of the text. Quoting the text is very much necessary. So that's it about this video. Hopefully seeing you in some next coming.